edge. Thank you for this humbling opportunity. Firstly, I wish to congratulate each and every one of us for successfully completing our NIE journey. It was not an easy one, but the knowledge we have garnered through it would definitely be useful in the coming years. The audience we have today ranges across the spectrum. Some of us saw teaching to be a calling and have joined the fraternity immediately upon graduation from the university, while others, who are mid-career professionals, received a missed call and have returned later to answer it. Though our profiles may vary, we are united in our mission to mold the future of our nation. An educated person without moral values is nothing more than just dust. This is a quote from an inspirational person, not Albert Einstein or Abraham Lincoln, but from my secondary school teacher who taught me 12 years ago. In fact, she repeated this during almost all of her lessons. Reflecting upon her words now, it holds much meaning to my profession as an educator. A teacher is not merely a transmitter of knowledge. If we were meant for that purpose alone, Wikipedia and Google would be the only nominees for the President's Award of Teachers each year. The duties of teachers extend beyond academics. It involves the nurturing of young people to be the best they can be. There is an old Asian adage, mother, father, teacher, God, in that order. According to this saying, apart from our parents, our teachers are the ones who take precedence in our lives, sometimes even ahead of God. Since ancient times, no other profession arguably has been held in such high regard as that of a teacher. In ancient China and India, for example, shufus and gurus were well respected by even the royalties. Princes and princesses paid homage to their teachers as they were trained in skills and were inculcated with moral values by them. So friends, our professional history and lineage stretches beyond time, and our duties are sacred. In essence, our duties as educators today do not differ much from those performed by the revered philosophers of the past. Well, maybe the princes and princesses we deal with in our classes today may be a bit more challenging than before. Nevertheless, our professional training in NIE would have equipped us with the skills to deal with classroom management issues. We took many modules as part of our teacher training in NIE. Looking back, there were new things to learn from each and every module. However, there was one module which made a great impression upon me. It was neither a curriculum subject module or an educational psychology module. It was a module which had no AUs attached to it. Yes, you guessed it right. It was Group Endeavours in Service Learning, or GESL for short. Remember that module? It was the module where you will bump into a friend after a long day in school at 5:30 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he'll ask you, "Not going home, ah?" And you reply with a tired, forlorn face, "I guess I'm meeting lah," with a tired expression. I realized that that was a standard answer, word for word, every one of us gave, irregardless of whether we were from the PG, primary, secondary, or GC program. Strange. Despite the twilight timing of its meetings, GESL was an experience which taught me aplenty. My GESL group, Aurora, organized an interaction workshop between a group of Dunman Secondary School students and several elderly folks from the Lions Befrienders Club. Themed Two Generations, One Heart, the aim of the project was to give young students an opportunity to better understand the lives of these elderly and to appreciate the values and skills they can impart. While watching the students interact with the elderly, I understood the importance of character and moral education for our students. After consolidating the reflections of these students, I realized that some of them had no prior experience in talking to elderly, while others had mentioned that they had learned many lessons in life from the conversations with their elderly companions. These experiences cannot be relayed merely through textbooks. The heart-centric, non-academic part of education is just as important as the academic side in the holistic development of students. I'm sure many students would have benefited from similar GESL projects by the other groups. I hope we would remember these enriching experiences and continue to inculcate good values in our students through such programs when we are posted out to our schools. Through our courses in NIE, we learned many pedagogical skills and learning strategies. We learned about many ICT tools, how to conduct group work activities like Jigsaw and Rally Table, and how to engage students with tuning in activities, etc. Many of us would be eager to utilize all these different techniques in our classroom teaching. Without doubt, these strategies are effective in their own ways. However, it is always important to keep the learner in mind when planning and conducting lessons. We should be careful in not being overzealous in our efforts to incorporate all the teaching tools into a single lesson. Sometimes simple means of teaching may work better for student learning and understanding. I wish to share a story. 3 scientists died, and they arrived at the gates of heaven. The angel at the gate told them, "There is only one vacancy in heaven, so I will let the devil decide on which one of you would get admitted to heaven. The other 2 would have to go to the underworld." So poof, the 3 scientists were sent to meet the devil. The devil said, "Since you are all prominent scientists, I shall pose you a challenge to test your skills. I will send you back to your labs for 1 day. The person who can design something which I cannot destroy with my hand will be granted access to heaven. The other 2 would have to stay with me." So poof, and the 3 scientists were sent back to their labs. The first scientist worked hard and created the most durable piece of plastic on Earth. The second scientist too worked hard and created the strongest piece of metal alloy on Earth. The third scientist, however, was too exhausted by the journey and fell asleep for the whole day. 24 hours passed, and the 3 scientists were summoned back to appear in front of the devil. "Are you ready?" asked the devil. The 3 scientists nodded. The first scientist gave his durable piece of plastic. The scientist took it in his palm, and poof, he melted it to pieces. The second scientist gave his strong piece of metal alloy. The devil took it in his palm, and again he melted it easily. Then came the turn of the third scientist. He dug deep into his pocket and took out a small, round substance. He gave it to the devil. The devil took it in his hand, and he tried his best to melt it. Alas, he could not do it. The third scientist was granted access to heaven. So now, as a testament that we all have been trained properly in NIE, we shall do a think, pair, share activity. Think about what small, round substance the third scientist could have given to the devil which he could not melt. Then turn to your neighbors and discuss. You have 10 seconds. Discuss, guys. Okay, discussion over. Any takers? M&M's. Why? Well done, clever kids. Again, the answer was M&M's because it melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Similar to what we saw in our story, our teaching requires M&M moments. Simple, meaningful and memorable ways to engage our students and to help them understand and learn better. The fanciful stuff may not work all the time, but it is always pertinent for us to be student-centric teachers who exercise good judgment on how to best teach our students. During our time in NIE, we would have fostered good friendships and built support networks with our peers. As we venture into the world of teaching, these relationships will be paramount to us. We would need a listening ear, a shoulder for support, or words of advice during our difficult times, and would need to reciprocate these as well. After all, there is nothing more comforting to hear than the words, "We are all in the same boat." Let us continue to nurture and treasure these relationships for many more years to come. As we strive to make a difference in the lives of our students, we should not forget those who have made a difference in our own lives. Our professors in NIE have well bestowed upon us the tools of our trade. Our parents have been our pillars of support throughout our life journey. And for some of us, our life partners have been immense in their encouragement throughout our trying times. Please join me in thanking these wonderful individuals without whom we will not be sitting here today. Personally, I wish to thank my mother, father, my uncle, Amuda, and my sister for developing me to be the person I am today. I was told that any good speech should leave the audience thinking at the end of it. I shall oblige. For a teacher, even the most challenging of 10-year series questions pale in comparison to the simple questions curious students can ask us. So I shall leave you to think about some probable questions students may ask us in the future. Number 1. Why doesn't super glue stick to the inside of its tube? Number 2. If 7-Eleven is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, why are there locks on the doors? Third question. What do we plant to grow seedless watermelons? If you thought these were interesting, welcome to the career of education, a journey where the insatiably inquisitive young minds of today are nurtured to lead our world of tomorrow. Thank you.